Today I want to talk about my top 10 neutral eyeshadow palettes. I have a stack. I knew that was going to happen. I have a stack right here. So starting with numbers 4 through 10, and these are in no particular order. I couldn't rank them because I just like all of them. The first one is this little bitty bite-sized e.l.f. palette. This one is I Love You a Latte. And this is all matte. So if you are not a shimmer girl, you might really like this. These are $3 and I have a lot of them, but I really like this one, both because it's a complete eye look all on its own, but also because it's a great companion palette. It's a great companion to the other bite-sized palettes, but also to any other palette. If you need this light shade for the upper brow area, or you need something to deepen up a look, you need a transition shade, whatever, it's here. So this palette would definitely be considered a staple in my inventory and something that I would always want to have on hand. Another little inexpensive nude palette is this Essence Nothing Compares to Nude, and it again is a complete eye look. It also has a mirror in it. There are 6 shades in this one, 2 mattes, and the rest are shimmers. This one's a little bit more difficult because you don't have that deeper matte that you might want to like deepen up the crease or the outer corner. You could use this shimmer here because it's not super shimmery, it's more of a satin, and so it would blend well to do those jobs for you if you wanted it to. But if you want to travel, you could take this with you, have everything you need, and if it shatters, it's like $3.99 to replace it. I'll probably swatch a little as we go along, but I'm not going to swatch everything because we'd be here forever. This video is intended to just be a little snack. If you don't have time for a full-length half-hour get ready with me, the whole shebang, and you just want something a little light, this one's for you. So far, these two palettes have both been a little bit warm. This one's a little more neutral, but this is kind of warm. So staying with the warm theme, let's go into this Hip Dot Witchy Warms. I got this in an Ipsy, and I just love it. This one is the first one that comes out in the fall. Looking for a pumpkin spice latte look. I don't know why, but for some reason, the viral trends now, we're naming makeup looks after food. We got strawberry girl and latte look and cherry cola. And so, you know, why not a pumpkin spice latte, right? Anyway, this one would do that for you. It's got this really pretty pumpkin-y orange right there. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmers and 5 mattes. So you got everything from light to deep, and just, this is so pretty. Screams fall. Of course, you could also use it in the summer if you wanted that bronzed goddess look. It would do that too, but yeah, so really enjoy that one. On to the cooler side of the spectrum, I have the ColourPop That's Taupe. Now, ColourPop's Going Coconuts used to be one of my favorite neutral palettes, but there are 3 shades in there that contain carmine, and when you only have a 9-pan palette and you can't use a third of the palette, I gave that one to my daughter. This one does have 1 shade that has carmine and I can't use it, and that's what that dot means right there. I really should depot that and see if I have something that similar that would fit in there that I don't have to worry about, but for now it's there. And these just have some really pretty rosy, cool tones in there. And I really love a cool rosy tone neutral, as you can see by what's on my eyes right now. By the way, what's on my eyes right now, I did in the Catrice full face video that I put up earlier this week. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it up there and you can go check it out. Also in the ultra affordable is the Hard Candy Mantras palette, Going Nude, Never Looking Back. This one is from, I got it at Walmart. I believe it was $3.99 or $4.99. I'll have to check that because I don't actually remember, but it is super pretty, and it also has a combination of warm and cool nudes. This one palette could give you such a variety of looks, and they're really good shadows. They last all day. I know some people don't think that for $3.99 you can get a decent shadow, but I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. I really like this gold, is super pretty, and this taupe is also really pretty. So anyway, I've made some really pretty looks with that. We have 2 more in the bottom 7. The first one is this Sigma Rendezvous palette. This is a smaller Sigma palette, and I just love this. I took this with me when we went to Florida last year and used the heck out of this. This looks beautiful. If you just want a one and done, grab one of those shimmers, put it on out the door, or use the mattes that are in there to create a complete eye look as well. And even though you can't really tell on the camera, I do use this a lot. There are some pretty good divots in those shimmers. And then this might surprise some of you because this has in the past been my top palette, but it's gotten bumped out of the top 3. I still love it. I still use it. That's the Stone Cold Fox. I might get some pushback on that one, but when I show you what's in the top 3, hopefully you'll understand. So this palette, let's see if I can, yeah, I can do that, has just about every neutral that you could possibly want in it. And I'm not saying that because it's not in my top 3 that it's a bad palette. Still a very good palette. However, if you'll notice the dots on there, the black dots, those are the shades that I can't use because of Carmine. And honestly, I haven't bought anything from ColourPop in a very long time because of that. There's almost always something in a palette that I can't use. I really appreciate brands that are vegan because then I don't have to worry about it. I realize not all brands are, and you know, that's not a deal killer for me. But if it is vegan, then I know that I don't have to worry about it, whether it's an eyeshadow palette, a blush palette, an eyeliner. I found Carmine in eyeliners. So yeah, anyway, but still a really pretty palette. Rosies, neutrals, warms. This shade right here I love, and it kills me that I can't use it. I actually have something very similar in another palette, so at least there's that. But this one up here and this one here. 3 was my cutoff for keeping a palette. If there were 3 shadows that I couldn't use, then I was supposed to pass the palette on. But because this has so many shades, I decided I would keep it even though there's those 3 in there that I can't use. So that's why it's not in my top 3 anymore, but I still love it, still use it. And if you don't have that issue, then I would definitely recommend this palette. Moving into the top 3, I'm trying to decide if I want to rank these or just say these are my top 3, because ranking them implies that one's better than the other, and they're really not, because they're all different and they all have a very specific function and purpose and reason why they're in the top 3. So I don't think I'm going to rank them. I'm going to just say these are the top 3. They're all kind of number 1 for their own reason. That might be the cheater way out, but hopefully you'll understand when I explain. All right, so one of the first ones in the top 3 is the Alter Ego Sahara palette. I don't have it off the top of my head which Natasha Denona this is a dupe for, so I will put it on the screen after I look it up because I don't want to speak wrong. This one is a beautiful warm-toned palette, but there are a couple of cool shades in here if you wanted to mix warm and cool. Sometimes that's a really pretty look. You don't have to do all warm or all cool. You can mix them if you want. And it has a really good number of mattes. Let me see if I can count them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like 9, and then a couple of satins that have maybe those little micro glitters in it. And then 1, 2, and it only has 3 shimmers, but they're really pretty shimmers. You have kind of a peachy, a bronze, and then one that's a little more pink. So this is one that I can reach for if I want that warm tone, but with a little bit more variety and a few more shades than the Witchy Warms had. And the Alter Ego formula is fantastic. Another in my top 3 happens to be also from Alter Ego, and this is the Shadow Kiss. This is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and it's just so pretty and has such a wide range of neutrals in here. I reach for this one a lot. Now, this is one that I actually would use this as a companion palette for, just for this shade, or I would use my Wet n Wild Brulee, because this shade here is great for a transition shade, but if I want something to set that and go all the way up to the brow bone, I need a lighter color than that. And this taupey gray right here is just gorgeous. So that's also in my top 3. And then the last one in the top 3 is a relatively new addition to my collection, and that's this e.l.f. Perfect 10 Pan in the Rose Gold Nude. And what's funny about this one is if you watch the video where I tested this, I'll put it up there if you haven't seen it, I didn't like this at first when I put it on. I thought that the payout wasn't so great, and I just was really struggling to do a look that I liked until I walked by my bathroom mirror and I wasn't sitting in front of these studio lights here and realized how pretty the look was that I did create with it. So I've used it several times since then, have loved every look that I've created, and this dusty purple shimmer is one of my favorite in the entire palette. I love it. And then you've got these lighter pinks down here too that are just so pretty. Anyway, really enjoy this. Down in the comments, let me know your top 3 or even just your favorite neutral eyeshadow palette. I would love to hear what yours are, and maybe there's one that I might want to try. If you enjoyed this little snack size video and got some benefit from it, I hope that you will take a second and hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, I invite you to do so and turn your notifications on. I do content for the mature woman, primarily focused on beauty, makeup, and creativity, and hope that you'll stick around and be part of the family. Also, if you have a little extra time, I really need to get my watch hours up so that I can get monetized. We're over 950 subscribers, so hopefully it will happen soon, but I really need that watch time. So if you click on one of these videos and watch, it will really help me out. I thank you so very much. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.